Summer 2024 will be etched in our memories as a season of unprecedented heat. Across the globe, thermometers soared to record-breaking heights, shattering previous benchmarks and leaving a trail of scorching temperatures in their wake. From the bustling metropolises of Asia to the sun-drenched plains of Africa, the heat wave was relentless, a stark reminder of the changing climate and the urgent need for action. The summer of 2024 was not just another hot summer. It was a resounding alarm bell, a wake-up call to the reality of global warming. The evidence was undeniable, the statistics alarming, and the consequences far-reaching. The planet was heating up, and the impacts were being felt in every corner of the world. As the sun beat down with unrelenting intensity, people sweltered in homes, sought refuge in air-conditioned spaces, and struggled to cope with the oppressive heat. The elderly, the young, and those with underlying health conditions were particularly vulnerable, facing increased risks of heat stroke, dehydration, and other heat-related illnesses. The Copernicus Climate Change Service, the European Union's Earth observation program, confirmed what many had already suspected. Summer 2024 was the hottest on record globally. This revelation, while shocking, was not entirely unexpected. Scientists had been warning for years about the increasing temperatures and the potential for record-breaking heat waves. The data collected by the Copernicus Climate Change Service provided concrete evidence of these predictions coming true. The data was irrefutable, painting a stark picture of a planet grappling with the consequences of climate change. The rising temperatures were not just numbers on a graph. They represented real-world impacts that were being felt across the globe. Melting glaciers, parched earth, and extreme weather events were becoming more frequent and severe, affecting millions of lives. According to C3S, the average global temperature for June, July, and August of 2024 was 0.69 degrees Celsius, or 1.24 degrees Fahrenheit, above the 1991 to 2020 average, surpassing the previous record set in 2019 by a significant margin. This increase might seem small, but in the context of global climate, it is substantial. It signifies a trend that has been steadily worsening over the past few decades. This alarming increase in global temperatures was a clear indication of the accelerating pace of climate change. Heat waves were becoming more intense and prolonged, forest fires were raging with unprecedented ferocity, and droughts were leaving vast swaths of land barren and unproductive. These events were not isolated incidents but part of a larger pattern of environmental degradation. These numbers, while stark, only tell part of the story. They provide a macro view of the situation, but the true impact of climate change is felt on a much more personal level. Each data point represents a community, a family, or an individual who is experiencing the effects of a changing climate firsthand. Behind the averages lie countless individual stories of hardship, displacement, and loss. Families are being forced to leave their homes due to rising sea levels and extreme weather events. Communities are struggling to rebuild after devastating floods and storms. The human cost of climate change is immense and growing. From farmers struggling with crop failures to coastal communities facing rising sea levels, the human toll of climate change is becoming increasingly apparent. Farmers are witnessing their livelihoods being destroyed by unpredictable weather patterns and prolonged droughts. Coastal communities are watching their homes and lands being swallowed by the sea, with little hope of recovery. The data from C3S is not just a collection of numbers. It is a stark warning about the future of our planet. It serves as a reminder that the actions we take today will determine the world we leave for future generations. The scientific community has been clear in its message. Immediate and sustained action is required to mitigate the worst effects of climate change. It is a call to action for governments, businesses, and individuals to take immediate steps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change. Protests for climate action are growing louder, demanding that leaders prioritize the environment. Renewable energy sources are being developed and implemented at an unprecedented rate, offering hope for a sustainable future. Governments are convening to discuss and implement policies that will address the climate crisis. The numbers tell a story, but it is up to us to write the next chapter. While much of the world sweltered under an oppressive heat dome, temperatures soared to unprecedented levels, causing discomfort and health risks for millions. Cities baked under relentless sun, and people sought refuge in any available shade. using handheld fans and cooling devices to combat the stifling heat. In stark contrast, the United Kingdom experienced a summer that was unseasonably cool and wet. Instead of the expected warm, sunny days, residents found themselves reaching for umbrellas and raincoats. The persistent rain and cooler temperatures were a surprising twist for a season typically associated with outdoor activities and vacations. The contrast between the global heat records and the UK's dampened summer highlights the complex and often unpredictable nature of weather patterns in a changing climate. While some regions grappled with extreme heat, others were drenched in rain, showcasing the diverse impacts of climate change across the globe. The UK's cooler summer, while a welcome respite for some, was not without its own set of challenges. The frequent downpours and overcast skies meant that outdoor events were often disrupted, and plans for summer holidays had to be adjusted. However, for children, the rain provided an unexpected source of joy as they splashed in puddles and enjoyed the novelty of a wet summer. The persistent rain led to flooding in some areas, disrupting transportation, damaging infrastructure, and causing widespread inconvenience. Streets turned into rivers, and homes and businesses faced water damage. The flooding highlighted the need for improved drainage systems and better urban planning to cope with such weather extremes. The juxtaposition of these two contrasting summers serves as a reminder that climate change does not manifest in a uniform manner. While some regions experience extreme heat and drought, others may face increased rainfall, flooding, or other climate-related challenges. This variability makes it difficult to predict and prepare for the specific impacts of climate change in different areas. While some regions experience extreme heat and drought, others may face increased rainfall, flooding, or other climate-related challenges. Farmers in drought-stricken areas watched their crops wither under the relentless sun, while those in flood-prone regions struggled to salvage their waterlogged fields. The agricultural sector, in particular, felt the brunt of these contrasting weather patterns, with food production and supply chains being significantly affected. The interconnectedness of the global climate system means that changes in one part of the world can have ripple effects elsewhere. Melting icebergs contribute to rising sea levels, which can lead to coastal erosion and increased flooding in low-lying areas. The global climate system is a delicate balance, and disruptions in one region can have far-reaching consequences. The UK's cool, wet summer, while seemingly at odds with the global heatwave, is a testament to the complex and often unpredictable nature of climate change. It serves as a reminder that we must remain vigilant and adaptable in the face of a changing climate. As we continue to experience these diverse weather patterns, it becomes increasingly important to develop strategies for resilience and mitigation, ensuring that communities around the world can cope with the challenges posed by our evolving climate. The record-breaking temperatures of summer 2024 are not a random occurrence. They are the result of decades of human activity that has released massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases have been accumulating over time, creating a thickening blanket around the Earth that traps heat. This phenomenon, known as the greenhouse effect, is the primary driver behind the rising temperatures we are experiencing today. These gases, primarily carbon dioxide from the burning of fossil fuels, trap heat and warm the planet, leading to a phenomenon known as global warming. Other significant greenhouse gases include methane, which is released during the production and transport of coal, oil, and natural gas, and nitrous oxide, which comes from agricultural and industrial activities. Together, these gases create a potent mix that intensifies the greenhouse effect. The science behind climate change is clear and well established. Researchers around the world have been studying the Earth's climate system for decades, using advanced technology and sophisticated models to understand how human activities are altering the planet's natural processes. These studies have consistently shown that the increase in greenhouse gases is directly linked to human activities. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the leading international body for the assessment of climate change, has concluded with over 95% certainty that human activities are the dominant cause of the observed warming since the mid-20th century. This conclusion is based on extensive research and data analysis, involving thousands of scientists from around the globe. Their reports provide a comprehensive overview of the current state of knowledge on climate change, its impacts, and potential future risks. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and other human activities have increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to levels not seen in millions of years. Deforestation, in particular, plays a significant role as trees absorb carbon dioxide, and their removal means less CO2 is taken out of the atmosphere. Additionally, the destruction of forests releases the carbon stored in trees back into the atmosphere, further exacerbating the problem. This increase in greenhouse gases is causing the Earth's average temperature to rise, leading to a cascade of impacts on the planet's climate system. Melting glaciers and ice caps, rising sea levels, and shifting weather patterns are just a few of the visible signs of a warming world. These changes are not just happening in remote areas, they are affecting ecosystems and communities everywhere. The science is clear. We are living in a time of unprecedented warming, and the consequences are being felt around the world. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense. Wildfires are raging with greater ferocity, and extreme weather events such as heavy rainfall and flooding are becoming more common. These events are not isolated incidents, but are part of a broader pattern of climate disruption. The longer we wait to take action, the more severe the impacts of climate change will become. Immediate and sustained efforts are needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. This includes transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, protecting and restoring forests, and adopting sustainable agricultural practices. Public awareness and political will are crucial in driving the changes needed to safeguard our planet for future generations. The time to act is now before the window of opportunity